Hi, Sam.
Hi, Stan. How you doing?
Good, good.
How do I get it?
Good. Not too bad.
Hi.
How do you get it so that the speaker is the highlight?
You can't do it from here.
You can't do it on this machine? Sure you can. Got to be able to.
All right, let me put it on downstairs. Oh, should I put you on so you can talk to people? Let's do it.
What about the information down here?
There's none on the bottom for this. It's always on the top.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Rabbi and Rabbitson.
I was saying I did my phone call a little late yesterday, but I was busy with the errand, so, you know.
It's always wonderful to get your phone calls, Becky. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, yes. I can't believe it's the end of July, and tomorrow we begin August. I cannot believe it. I've been watching the Olympics on my days off.
Yeah, some very exciting stuff.
Oh, yes.
Got it. Yeah.
Oh, I need to get the paper. Just serve it.
It ought to come with a titanium stamp.
You need to do that.
Let's see. Right. Just was trying to get it up more, but it doesn't do that.
This one. And this one. But actually, they should be feeling.
All right. Thank you.
Sheila there?
You talking to me?
Do you see Sheila?
No.
I don't see her.
I'll call her.
Okay.
Thank you for remembering to be here. Thank you, Stan, for reminding us.
Well, we'll see how many come. If not enough, you can blame it on me.
Oh, you wouldn't blame it. No.
I don't want to send more than, one email to 2 a week, so I'm not gonna, rabbis, they have birthdays and anniversaries. Of course, if you look on the page 3 of the Shir notes, you'll see those. And from what I see, it's the Schuster's anniversary.
How many years, Steve?
53.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Congratulations,
The Shir note says 54.
yeah.
64 is, that's how old I am.
Leave me your name and number, message, and I'll get right back to you. Thanks, bye-bye.
Well, we celebrated an anniversary in
Sheila,
July.
this is Phyllis reminding you that it's time for Shir and Me services, and we don't see you online. Bye.
Clara, how many years are you married?
69.
Oh my God. Wow. Mazel tov.
Good night, her.
I'll be right. Yeah, I'm gonna need to.
Oh, also the Rosenbluths. I know that they're 50, 69.
Oh,
No, honey, this is just, the computer is not doing well.
You
Okay,
had
let me
to-
try.
Is that why Sim is not there?
There we go.
Dan Schroeder's link should be there.
I got the link. It's just not.
We see you, Steve.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad. I'll be right back.
Okay.
As soon as I help Emma find her collars.
Ah,
Becky, you found a pillow.
yeah, I found 2.
You want to bring me one of
And
the coasters, please?
Oh, hi, Jerry. I didn't call you, Jerry. I'm sorry yesterday, so I'm gonna say good Shabbos now. I'm sorry, honey.
You didn't call me?
No, I know. I forgot to. I'm gonna
Wow.
say it now. Please do forgive.
Okay, I forgive you this time.
Okay,
Doesn't happen
thank
again.
you. It's not gonna happen again, I promise.
Okay, all right. Becky said
Ah.
she forgot to call us yesterday.
Hi, Becky.
So.
Hello, Ellie. So I said good Shabbos to
Hi,
you now.
everybody.
Did you
Hello.
hear what I said?
What?
Becky said she forgot to call us yesterday. She apologized.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Okay.
So
Hi,
how?
everybody.
Hey, woo.
Good Shabbos.
There she is.
There's Ray.
Hi,
Where? Because I
every-
can't see it on ours.
Right.
Where's our mom?
He's here. He's coming. Hi,
Oh.
Betty, Owen,
Good morning.
everyone.
Peter, yes.
Shabbat
Figured that.
shalom.
Good morning, Jerry.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Ah,
Where's your wife?
Sheila.
How's
Arizona
everybody?
coming in.
What did you do with your wife, Jerry?
She went to get me my
What?
coffee. She went to get me my coffee.
Oh, okay.
Still on it.
Washington, Arizona, Santa Cruz, or Santa Rosa.
I know, just joking. Just joking.
I'm turning it on.
Okay, bye.
Here she comes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
There you go. I hear
Hello.
Hello.
Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Ah, there they are. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. Yes, Becky, I see the tip of you. Yeah.
He's on 2 pillows.
Trying to get more height. I'm trying.
Eat your spinach or something like that.
That's it.
Right, right.
Jan, how's
Right.
How is the weather by you guys?
Well, it's actually extremely muggy right now because we're having monsoon season.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful skies light up at night. It's really puts on a show. And
That's
Richard is just looking on the weather thing. It's 86 now. And what's oh my God, you might as well think we're in New York. It's 60% humidity.
Oh,
That is, that's a lot. That's a lot.
So we're probably going to have rain very, very, very shortly.
oh,
But we don't mind. We don't mind it because the skies, when they light up, unfortunately, there is damage that gets done. But it's beautiful.
I bet. Wow.
Yeah. But thank
I
you.
wish you could send us some rain here.
Yes. Well, we've gotten more rain than we have. Rhoda, unmute yourself. I didn't even see that. Pardon me for interrupting. Unmute. Hey there, kid.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Sheila.
How are you?
Shalom.
Hi.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah.
Luma says, who's with you?
We have River and Evan, who's
Camera shy.
Oh, wow.
oh, yeah, they've been with us all week. We've had a week's worth.
Are they staying by themselves with you guys?
Yeah. Mom and Dad dropped them off last week. They've been with us all week, and
Wow.
That's
going home
wonderful.
tomorrow. And I'm going to take a nap.
It's a good tired, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good tired. We've been busy and swimming and.
How nice. Oh, and hello there, new grandparents. How are you? Hello, new grandparents.
Went to the
down
Lego
there.
exhibit.
Shabbat
shalom, everyone.
Hi,
Shalom. How's the
Janet, thank you for the lovely anniversary card, and Richard too. It was so sweet. I didn't get a chance to thank you on because this thing isn't working, but it's much appreciated.
Hello, everybody. We're going to begin. And I'm going to begin by muting everybody. So once again, don't take it personally. But we can concentrate on the service. And we're going to begin with joining in our own private bubbles in a little song. But first, we're going to put on our tali tot. So let us say the bracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehit'atef b'tzitzit. And let us join together. Hinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. And we begin our service on page 14. These are selections from the Bible that help us to set the mood. We'll begin with letter E. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. V'tagel haaretz. Yeru hayam. Yeru hayam. Yeru hayam. Melo'o. Yeru hayam. Yeru hayam. Yeru hayam. Melo'o. Hoshea et amecha. השיר, שיר ליום השבת. צדיק כתמה יפרח יפרח, צדיק כתמה יפרח, צדיק כתמה יפרח יפרח, צדיק כתמה יפרח. כי ארץ בלבנון מסכן, כי ארץ בלבנון מסכן, כי ארץ בלבנון מסכן, מסכן. כי ארץ בלבנון מסכן, כי ארץ בלבנון מסכן, כי ארץ בלבנון מסכן, מסכן. מקולות מים, מים רבים אדירים, משמורי ים, אדיר במרום, אדוני, לה 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 לה, לה 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 לה, לה 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 מלכותך, מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך, בכל דור ודור. 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 ואנחנו נברך יה, ואתה ועד העולם, ואתה ועד העולם. הללויה. We are on page 16. El Adon Avol HaMaasim Baruch Baruch Befi Kol Neshama Kadlo Betuvo Malei Olam Da'at Bina Soven Imoto Hamida Echayot HaKodesh V'nedar Mechavor Al HaMerkava Yechud U'Mishol L'Nei Chizo seat together. V'havienu l'shalom v'yavakat v'ta'aretz v'tolichenu kavut yarsenu ki'elko el yeshuot ata uvana v'chartam mikolam v'lashon v'kerev tanu l'shimcha hagadol sela be'emet lahodot lecha u'liachetcha b'yahava baruch ata Adonai habocher b'yamo Yisrael b'ahava.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make tzitzit in the corners of their garments throughout their generations, putting upon the tzitzit of each corner a thread of blue. When you look upon the tzitzit, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclination of your heart or by the attraction of your eyes. Thus will you be reminded to fulfill all my commandments and be consecrated to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, the Lord, am your God." Azot, azot, shibechu ahuvim, shibechu ahuvim, v'romemu, 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 v'romemu el, v'natenu, v'natenu yedidim, v'natenu, v'natenu yedidim, zmirot, shirot, v'tishbachot, v'rachot, v'hodaot, lemelech el chai v'kayam, ram v'nisa, gadol v'nora, mashbil geim, umagbiya shefalim, motzi asirim fode anavim v'yo zerdalim, v'yone leyamo, v'yone leyamo, v'yechavam elav. Tehilo le'el Elyon baruch mubarach, Moshe v'nei Yisrael achanu shira, v'simcha rabba v'yamaru chulam. Mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef elef. Shira chadasha shibchu geulim l'shimcha asvat hayam, yachad kulam haduvim lechu v'yamaru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. So before we do the Amidah, we are going to have a chance to share what we are thankful for. We're going to begin with, because it's also birthday and anniversary Shabbat, we have a whole bunch of birthdays that we're celebrating during the summer. Let me read what I have from our Shir notes, but if I'm missing anybody, please let me know. So we have Barbara Haddam celebrating a birthday. Phyllis is celebrating a birthday. Judy. Art, Happy Alstiller celebrating a birthday this month. Bonnie Vorspan celebrating. And Stan Schroeder celebrating a birthday in the summertime. Is there anybody else who's celebrating a birthday whose name I did not mention?
Did you say Stan Rosenberg?
I did.
Okay. Helga?
Didn't I say Stan Rosenberg?
Helga?
Are we looking at these names here?
I'm looking at these names. Oh, that was for June. Sorry.
Okay.
June?
Yeah, no, we're looking at this list over here.
Okay, sorry.
Anybody whose name I did not mention, wave at the camera. Davida, you have a birthday this month or next
No,
month?
my sister Sybil is August 11th. So, and she of course would have been here, but she's at a wedding or driving to a wedding.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have a birthday whose name I neglected? I don't see anybody waving. All right, so let's wish everybody happy birthday. Yom Holedet Sameach. Yom Holedet Sameach. Yom Holedet Sameach. Yom Holedet Sameach. Happy birthday.
Did you say Judy? I said what?
I did.
Okay.
Judy, I said your name, right?
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else whose name Bonnie's not sure I didn't mention? Raise your hand. Okay, so we got it all. And then we have anniversary Shabbats, and we've got the following celebrating important anniversaries this summer. We got Clara and Stan Rosenblum celebrating their 69th wedding anniversary. They already celebrated it. We also have Steve and Simba Schuster, 54 years of marriage. Lovely. Are the Silvermans here? Did we see? No, I don't think so. Carol and Art Schiller celebrating 41 years of marriage. Mazel tov. Anybody else whose anniversary is this summer that I didn't mention your name? Davida.
It's Bruce's and my 25th wedding anniversary, and you did it. The seats were not even in the synagogue in Shirami, or whatever it is. And so 25 years ago.
Wow.
Very
Wow, wow,
nice.
wow.
Very nice. Thank you. Anybody else whose name I did not mention celebrating an anniversary? All right. So for those people who are celebrating anniversaries, I share with you this blessing. Eloheinu v'lehavotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, we are grateful for the love with which you have blessed and sustained these husbands and wives, whose hearts are filled with gratitude to you. O Lord, may they continue to enjoy the blessings of the new song of their years to come, embraced by the love of their family and their friends, so that they may always live in joy and gladness, in love and harmony, in peace and companionship. And let us all say amen, and mazel tov. Mazel tov. Very nice. So let us now share what we are thankful for. I just want to start by saying how thankful I am for the Olympics. I just love the Olympics. I am recording every Olympic event that's going on, and then I spend all day and all night just sitting in front of my TV, speed searching through every event. And stuff like the mile swim, I just zip right through that, and in 10 seconds we've got a winner. But I'm particularly thankful for is how well Israel is represented. I don't know if you've been watching, but they seem to have a real powerhouse team. I've been watching swimming, and they even had in the mixed doubles competition, they were in the finals. First time Israel's been in team finals like this in decades. And while they've only won, as far as I could tell, one medal so far, a bronze, I think, in Taekwondo, but it's really great to see Israel's name represented so prominently. So let us open it up now to anybody who would like to share what you are thankful for. Richard Kirschbaum, please unmute.
So we're very thankful to be able to see Rhoda finally. Welcome.
He was thankful to see Rhoda.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, good to see Rhoda Blecker. Roby James is here. Thank you. Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Lewis's.
Okay, we're first of all thankful that we have Evan and River with us for the week. There goes Evan. And we were very thankful that we got to spend time with all of our grandchildren around July 4th. Isaac, who's at JCC camp up near Yosemite from the San Francisco JCC. Almost 4 weeks he will have been away when he comes back next Thursday. And Hannah. So we got to see all of our grandkids, and it's been a fun summer. Did you have something you wanted to say?
No, it's good.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Phyllis.
I'm thankful to Rabbi Borsban and Bonnie for having this midsummer service. It really is a great response. I see there's more than 30 of us here. So I thank you so much for doing that.
Glad to do it, Phyllis. Thank you. And the innovation is all Stan's idea. as our Vice President of Ritual, Stan Schroeder, asked if we could have some kind of a midsummer program so that we don't lose touch with each other. And that's how important community is to Stan. So I'm delighted to be able to provide this service. Thank you. Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Art.
Oh, I am thankful to be able to get out of the valley and enjoy slightly cooler but smoky weather in the Lake Tahoe area. We're in Truckee right now for the month of August. And I'm also thankful for having a lunch buddy in Stan Schroeder at the Kosher Buffet. It's always enjoyed.
Great, thank you. Kosher Buffet on Winnetka, right?
On Winnetka, right.
Oh, some business. It's a lovely, they've got a buffet there, all you can eat. And
we ate a lot.
Thank you. Judy Isikowicz. Judy Isikowicz, go ahead and unmute.
I'm very thankful for the progress I'm making on my recovery. I had an MRI on my ankle and there were no big surprises, so that's excellent. And I celebrated my birthday with a friend yesterday and I felt almost normal. It was amazing.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Judy. Who else would like to share what you're thankful for? Davida.
Well, I'm excuse me. I'm thankful of course for every day, but I'm really thankful that Bruce and I are going to leave on Monday and we're going to go to Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and on the way back we'll maybe do Utah, Montana, but we're taking a road trip. And this time it's not going to be on a Harley, so I can drive. So Bruce can enjoy seeing some things. So we're going to take a nice little trip. Like I said, a road trip for 2 weeks. It'd be cheaper to fly, but it's going to be more fun, you know, going to all these different places. And if anybody has any suggestions of any of those places, you please let me know. And then that also yesterday was Bruce's daughter Danielle, her 40th birthday. So that was very nice too. So a lot of mitzvahs.
Here, but nobody can see her.
So Shoshana, I see your hand is up. Would you like to share?
I'm grateful that my 95th birthday is coming up September the 5th, 95th birthday.
Terrific. Happy birthday.
That I'm still alive for my 95th birthday.
And she wants to. She's going to invite a lot of people because we're going to have it at 3 years ago, like she had it at the Cheesecake Factory 3 years ago, if they allow us to.
Nice. Thank you, Shoshana. Very lovely news. Thank you. Who else would like to share? Ray Wazana.
Yes, first of all, thank you, Rabbi, also for, and Bonnie, for having this midsummer service. It's definitely nice to see everyone. First, I wanted to share Renee just turned 50 yesterday. So she and Judy Isikowicz share a July 30th birthday. And secondly, finally, our grandson Jordan, he's back up at school and he's finishing up a summer class online. And he's starting his senior year and he's finally, he's starting this internship. It's a paid internship. He'll be working at a transitional facility. His major is criminal justice. So he gets credit and he gets paid. So it's starting this coming week.
Nice.
I'm really proud of him.
Yes, you should be. Thank you, Ray. Who else would like to share?
Oh, was she done?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ray, was you done?
No.
Okay, Sheila Hart.
Well, for the first time in a long time, I have all my children in California, which is very exciting to me. So I'm very thankful for that and thankful for this service as well.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Who else would like to share what you're thankful for? Nom de plume, Roby James.
I'm thankful to feel like a Vovnik again.
That's how running Vovniks. You see all the Vovniks who are applauding that. Thank you. That's great. Thank you. Jerry Zatz, please share on your mute.
We can't hear
We still
you.
can't hear you, Jerry.
What are we trying to mute for?
I'm unmuting.
No, you were not. That's mute.
I
You
know.
had unmute on.
We can hear you. You're okay. Now you're
Okay,
muted.
so
Unmuted.
what are you muting for?
So we are, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, we're like everybody, we're very proud of all our grandchildren, but our grandson, Charlie, 10 years old, is a very good baseball player, and his team won the state championship in Colorado, and they're off to some other championship now up in Iowa, where they're playing baseball in the Field of Dreams movie where they did that. So his team won the state championship.
Wow.
10 years old. Very proud of him.
Awesome tough.
That's marvelous. Thank you, Betty and Jerry. Who else would like to share with you our Clara Rosenbluth?
Well, I'm thankful that our great-granddaughter Madison spent some time with us on Thursday, and I spent a lot of time going through old photograph albums and introducing her to a rather large family and old pictures of my mom at her age, at Madison's age, and that was very nice. And just sharing family history. And I just ordered a couple of alphabet books, and I'm going to attempt to teach her the Hebrew alphabet. She's not getting any kind of much of a Jewish education, so I'm taking on that challenge and see that between the books and the computer and so forth, we'll go through these couple of elementary alphabet, and we'll proceed from that. And then I'm getting her some books on Jewish history and holidays and so forth. And I'll do my part in Lador Vador, trying to pass on some of the stuff to her.
Very nice. You're embarking on the road of being a Hebrew teacher. Good luck.
Yes.
Who else would like to share? Fiona.
Yes, I'm really happy to be able to say that after having to reschedule my trip to England to see my brother 3 times, I've finally been able to get it when I won't have to quarantine. So I'm leaving on August 11th. And hopefully even with all the testing and things that one has to do these days before and on arrival and on the way back and all the rest of it, hopefully it'll work out and I will be able to see him. I did speak to him this week, so I'm really happy about that.
Safe journeys, Fiona.
Thank you.
Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Go ahead and wave at the camera. Make sure yeah, Ed, go ahead.
Rabbi, I want to say thank you very much for your wonderful services, and also wanted to thank Stan Schroeder, who reminds me every Friday and every Saturday morning to put the computer, because I'm so forgetful. If it wasn't for Stan Schroeder, I might have forgotten to get the computer on and do it, because my memory is starting to fail me. But I wanted to thank Stan Schroeder for that, and thank you, Rabbi, and your wife for the wonderful services my mom gets every Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. And Ed, I think we all owe you a debt of thanks as well, because at the same time that we are acknowledging the frontline people during the COVID pandemic over the last year and a half, we can't forget the bus drivers who have been in the front of the risk line. And you've been doing that, Ed. So congratulations to you as well.
Well, thank you so much for that, because we haven't charged our customers in over 15 months. So everybody can, I'll let you know, a little PR, anybody can ride metro, trains, buses for free, because there's no charge for 15 months, and they decided to keep it that way. And the public sometimes remembers it, but they always know when we're late to the bus stop.
Thanks, Ed. Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Stan Rosenbluth.
Well, I'm thankful for Claire and all the years that we've had together. And I want to just say that my great granddaughter Madison baked a challah for the first time. I won't say much about the challah, but it made wonderful French toast. And that's it. And tomorrow we'll be out with the family in Calabasas. We're going to get out of the cold weather, go where it's warm. It's only been 63 degrees this morning here. And I understand Woodland Hills had it up to 103.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your return to the valley.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stan. Who else would like to share with you we're thankful for? Go ahead and wave at the camera. I don't see anybody. Yeah, go ahead, Sam Kabalnik. Go ahead and unmute. You have to unmute.
Can't hear him.
There you go. Go ahead.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom. It's great seeing everyone. We've got together with our grandchildren and our children, Sherry's birthday. It's been so long since we were all together, I think almost a year. And it was great. And the kids are huge, tall. Elliot's taller than Sam now. And it was such a lovely, lovely feeling. Such a lovely, lovely feeling to be with the family. And thank you to all of Sherry's in touch with me and seeing how we're doing. We're so appreciative to all of you for all your support always. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And Linda Tapper, go ahead.
Well, I don't get to see my daughter who lives in Nevada very often, but she and her husband and the kids came in June for our son Brian's birthday, and they stayed with us, and they'll be coming in, I think, for Thanksgiving, matter of fact. But the whole family's getting together for Thanksgiving at a timeshare in Nevada. So I'm really looking forward to that. Haven't been on vacation for 4 years, so I'm happy.
Thank you, Linda. Very nice. It's so nice to get caught up in what people are doing, how their lives are progressing. This is like the Lake Wobegon portion of our, so that's really nice. But Stan Schroeder is now going to share what he is thankful for.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I want to say that I apologize for the slight confusion, I think, of whether this is July and August birthday and anniversary spots or just July as I intended it, with the August barbecue and barbecue service that we were going to have was going to be August. But we can celebrate, of course, it will be my birthday as many times as we want. And that's fine with me. And Rabbi also spoke about the Olympics. And it turns out that that's, that was what I prepared.
Go ahead.
So, so I want to mention a few things. First of all, in the 1956 Summer Olympics in Melbourne, Australia, Hungarian Jewish gymnast Agnes Coletti faced challenges on and off the mat. In the competition, she turned in a dominating performance to close her Olympic career with 10 medals over 2 summer games. Yet that year, the Soviet Union invaded her homeland, and by 1957, she had found a new home in Israel. Today, Agnes is the oldest living Olympian at 100 years old, and she was featured in a film segment by the Olympic Committee during the opening ceremonies for the Games last Friday, for the opening Friday. And she is certainly part of the narrative of Jewish achievement in the Olympics. So another part of the opening ceremony was that for the first time, the opening recognized the 1972 massacre of the Israeli athletes there with a moment of silence at the beginning. It's been asked for by Israel in just about every Olympics, and the Japanese host of it finally made that acknowledgement. So that was also important. The couple of Jewish athletes now and many of the past that I want to just mention. First of all, there was Jewish basketball star Sue Bird of the USA women's basketball team, and she was one of the two flag bearers at the opening ceremony. And so far, they've won their two games that they played. And she said, I think that's the best that when she was, she's in the WNBA, but said the best part, to be honest, was to have your peers be the one who see your career and pick you to lead as one of the flag bearers. Mentioned Jessica Fox of Australia, who won the bronze in women's kayak slalom, and on day 4 of the competition, and 2 days later took the gold in women's canoe slalom. And she's actually coached by her mother, who was an Olympic medalist, 2 Olympic medals in kayaking in 1996. And Rabbi mentioned that the only Israel medalist at this point is Avishag Semberg. And she returned to Israel Tuesday to a hero's welcome at Ben Gurion Airport in her hometown of Gadara, and sending a message to girls and boys that anything is possible. So they had a real celebration for her when she returned to Israel. Going back, we all remember Mark Spitz from that same 1976 Olympics that he had won all those gold medals, or all the several medals and gold medals, and would have certainly been and was one of the stories of that Olympics. Just wanted to mention a couple others from way back. Going back is a basketball player by the name of Sam Balter that maybe some of you remember because he went to UCLA, played basketball in the days of amateur basketball, and was an All-American. He was in the 1936 Olympics on the U.S. basketball team that went to Berlin, and he was one of the Jewish athletes who decided to go, as many of them decided not to go. So he was on the first Olympic winning basketball team. And last, I'll mention Harold Abrahams. As many of you remember the movie Chariots of Fire. So in Chariots of Fire, a 1981 British historical drama based on the true story of 2 British athletes in the 24 Olympics. It was Eric Liddell, who was a devout Scottish Christian who runs for the glory of God, and Harold Abrahams, an English Jew who runs to overcome prejudice. So just as we celebrate and enjoy all the, I have watched quite a bit too, as Rabbi have, that we do remember a Jewish connection. And I want to say, as far as gratitude is concerned, I'm immensely grateful. And this week's Torah portion talks about the importance of gratitude, and having this segment at Shabbat is one way that we have of emphasizing it too. Thank you.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you. You reminded me, so let me just say one more thing. You all know, I think, that Israel has a baseball, now has baseball, and they have a baseball team that's entered, one of 6 teams in the world that made it through a long period of competitions and made it into the finals. So while and when they played America yesterday, it was all on TV. And so it was fascinating just to watch them talk about the stories of the Israeli team. Yeah. And it was fascinating to hear their biographies and Jewish significances. And here we have a team of just about all Jews. Technically, they have to be citizens of Israel, and to be a citizen of Israel, and so quickly, they had to be eligible for the law of return. To be eligible for the law of return, to become a citizen so quickly, they had to have at least a grandparent who was Jewish, a parent who was Jewish, or married to somebody who's Jewish. And so the entire team essentially is making us very proud of even just being there.
Yeah, it was amazing. There's only 4 native Israelis on the team, and all the rest are from around the world, Jews who accepted the citizenship. they've been practicing for over 5 years to get into this game. They, from what I could tell as a team, they have this spirit, and it's a Judaism that puts them in common that makes it such a wonderful experience for them and for us.
Yeah, and so we'll look out for them because there are only 6 teams. Every team, no matter how many losses you have, is going to make it into the next round. So Israel is making it into the next round. But check out their listings and see whether you're going to be able to record the game. Usually they're on like 3 in the morning. So go ahead and record the game and then watch it and enjoy it. So let us now, as we prepare to offer our own private prayers of thankfulness, join together in this prayer at the bottom of page 18. Sur Yisrael, Israel, Ufedei Chivreha, Yisrael, Aleinu,
Adonai Tzvaot Shemo,
Israel, Baruch Atah Adonai, Yisrael. And we continue quietly. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, sim. Shalom, tova uveracha. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Ose shalom, 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 Nimrom Yaseh shalom, Aleinu. Ose shalom, 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 Nimrom Yaseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, Ne'emeru, And we continue with our Torah service. We're on page 19. Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai, v'ein kemasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz li'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Aharachamim
היטיבה ברצונך את ציון, תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים, כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך אל רם ונישא, אדון עולמים. ויהי בנשוא אהרון, ויאמר משה, קומה אדוני, ויפוצו אויביך, וינוסו משנאיך מפניך, כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו, בעין הרחץ ולשמי קדישה, קדישה יקירה, אנא אמרתו שבחן, בעין הרחץ, בעין הרחץ, ולשמי קדישה, קדישה יקירה, אנא אמרתו שבחן, יהי רבק אדמה, תפתח ליבי באורייתא, ותשלים משלים דליבי, וליבדך עולמך ישראל, לטוב ולחיים ולשלום. Amen. So we're going to read the Torah portion. It is a kev, and let me begin by reading some of it, and then we'll talk a little bit. והיה עקב תשמעון את המשפטים האלה ושמרתם ועשיתם אותם, ושמר אדוני אלוהיך לך את הברית ואת החסד אשר נשבע לאבותיך, ואהבך וברכך וחרבך וברך נא ופרי אדמתך, תגנך ותירשך ויצריך, שגר אלפיך ואשתרות צונך, על האדמה אשר נשבע לאבותיך, לתת לך, ברוך תהיה מכל העמים, לא יהיה בך עקר וקרה ובבהמתך, והסיר אדוני ממך כחולי, בכל מדבר מצרים הרעים אשר ידעת, לא ישימם בך ותנתנם בכל שונאיך.
יישר כוח.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so the Torah portion talks about gratitude in part, exactly how Stan helped to set this up. But I'm going to show you where it specifically talks about the gratitude that's important to all of us. We're going to take a look at this, beginning with a God who seems to be kind of concerned with the fact that the Israelites are going to be entering the promised land. And when they enter the promised land, it's very possible that they're going to forget who to be thankful of. Because when they enter the promised land, they are going to no longer be dependent upon the miracles of manna from heaven and water that was provided from a well that accompanied them. Now they are going to be able to till their own soil and be able to produce their own produce. And as a result, God apparently is going to be very concerned that they're going to start to feel the sense of self-aggrandizement, that they're just going to figure, let's congratulate ourselves because we're able to now to plant and to grow and to eat from our own work and efforts, and we're going to forget God. And so God is going to warn them and alert them with these words. Take care lest you forget the Lord your God and fail to keep God's commandments, his rules, his laws, which I join upon you today. When you have eaten your fill and have built fine houses to live in, and your herds and your flocks have multiplied, and your silver and your gold have increased, and everything you own has prospered, beware lest your heart grow haughty, and you forget the Lord your God, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. And then God goes ahead and he says that it's my own power and might that you have your wealth. Do not forget and bow and chase after other gods. So now we are going to come to this very, very remarkable sentence at the very end. And God is going to essentially say, let me go back and find it. And God is going to say in verse 10, V'achalta v'savata uveirachta et Adonai Elohecha, and you shall eat, and when you are satisfied, you will bless uveirachta God for the good land that God has given you. And this introduces how the rabbi said we need to create a prayer. This is one of only 2 times in the entire Torah that God says, I want you to create a prayer. And this prayer is going to end up to be our Birkat HaMazon. And the Birkat HaMazon is going to be our grace after meals. God doesn't say you shall begin every meal with the prayer. God does say, I'm commanding you to come to when you have finished eating, to come up with a series of prayers to acknowledge that. Why not before you eat? Because it's really easy to be thankful before you eat. It's really hard to be thankful after you eat, because that's when you want to just get up and move on with your life, which is why the rabbis have a lot of fun playing around with one of the words in this sentence. And you shall eat, v'achata, v'savata, and you will be thankful, and when you are thankful, uveirachta. Now, the word uveirachta means, and you shall praise, or you shall bless. But the Hebrew berach, livroach, also means to flee, to run away. You shall eat, and you will be satisfied, and you'll get out of there and move on with your life and flee the table. And the rabbis are very concerned that that's exactly what people are going to end up doing. So now the question is, what are the rules then of doing a Birkat HaMazon, this grace after meals? And so the first rule is that you have to have eaten the bread of the size of an olive. If you've eaten anything less than that or haven't eaten any bread at all, you don't do this long Birkat HaMazon, this grace after meals. If you've had at least the size of an olive, then you do it. So the question is, if you've only eaten bread the size of an olive, how can you be satisfied? You will eat, and if you are satisfied, you'll say the Birkat HaMazon. How can you be satisfied with a crumb the size of an olive? The answer is going to be given to us by the Rabbi Shlomo of Karlin, who said, when one eats in the spirit of gratitude, whether there is much food or little, the meal is satisfying. So we have to be satisfied. And in fact, most translations have not been translating it the way I've been translating it, that you shall eat, and if you are satisfied. That's one way of translating it. The other way of translating is, when you eat and are satisfied, you will do the grace after meals. You will make the blessing. What are some of the other rules of the Birkat HaMazon? That you have to say the Birkat HaMazon at the table where you ate. So this idea of eating at one table and then getting up and wandering off to another table, like you're in a big hall with a bunch of tables of people eating, and then you can't sit down at that other table and say they're B'kana Mazon. You didn't eat at that table, which is why one of the blessings in the B'kana Mazon is V'al shulchan zeh she'achanu alav, and people tap on the table, that it's at this table that I ate. If you end up getting up and wandering off to another table, then you've got to reestablish yourself by having some more bread at that table, and then you can say the B'kana Mazon at that table. When you say the B'kana Mazon, the tablecloth has to remain on the table, and there has to still be some bread on the table, in order to show that even if you finished your meal, if then some poor person comes into the room, you still have food for them. Which shows you how very important it is that we attune ourselves to the homeless, and that we need to feel a sense of responsibility for people who don't have food. A quarter of the Earth's population goes to bed starving at night. We have to be very, very concerned, especially with the level of homelessness that we have here in Los Angeles. I want to show you now two last blessings that we have in the B'kana Mazon and the lessons we learn from these. And I'm going to share my screen with you again. And this is from the prayer that we very often sing. That's what we're going to be looking at. And I want to show you just two blessings. At the very end, the first one is here. Nar hayiti, gam zakanti, lo ra'iti tzadik ne'azav v'zaro mevakesh lachem. Once I was young, now I'm old. I have never seen a righteous person forsaken or his children searching for bread. Is that true? There are those people who say it's not true. And if there's a poor person who is going to be walking by while we say the B'kana Mazon, and hears us say that if you're righteous or you're a child of a righteous person, you're never going to go hungry, they're going to feel we're mocking them. And we should not be saying these words in the earshot of poor people, which is why a lot of people, when they get to this line, they say it very quietly. There was one rabbi, Louis Finkelstein, who was the chancellor of the Jewish Theological Seminary, who said, when I get to this line, I sing it as loudly as I sing the rest of the B'kana Mazon. Why? Because if I ever looked and I saw that there was a poor person, righteous or not, child of a righteous person or not, begging for bread, I will help them. And therefore, this will be a true sentence. I will never have seen a poor person begging for bread, because if I did, I will have helped them. And then we have one last sentence that I want to call to your attention. And that is this one here. And it's the one that is very familiar to us because we do it all the time. We say it, we've said it already at our services. Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. May he who makes peace in the heavens bring peace unto all of us on earth, and let us say amen. And the question is, here you can see it in the English translation. What is this doing in a blessing over thankfulness for food? Why do we have this sentence in the B'kana Mazon, being thankful for peace? And here's the answer. Here's one of the answers. Because when there's not peace, our appetite should be lessened. Do you remember back in the 60s during the Vietnam War? The video imagery from the war would be flown to America and wouldn't get to the evening news until that afternoon. And so we would sit down during dinner, and if we had the TV going during dinner, we would be watching these terribly gruesome images from the Vietnam War. And if people could sit there and eat dinner and see those images, they will have become calloused to the effects of the war. And this is to remind us that if there's not peace, our appetite should be lessened. And so we have to fight for peace, even as we think about the B'kana Mazon, because we want to make sure we have a good hearty appetite, and that can't happen when there is not peace going on, whether it's in battles with other nations, or less peace at our own table. If there's tension, if people are bickering, if people are on their phones and irritating other people, or if they're getting up and they're walking out or they're not even there, this should lead to a lessening of our appetite. And so that's why we pray for peace, even when we're also being thankful for the food that we have just eaten and the people who have brought that food to us and everything that was involved in helping to sustain us and enrich our lives with the full belly. We're now going to say Amisha Baruch for those who are not well, and I'm going to ask you in a minute to have the names ready to go. Misha Baruch Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Yomotenu Sarah Rivka Rachavalehu Yavrach for Abed Cholim. May he who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless those who are sick. Bonnie, if you could please start.
Ellen Lowe, Chet Forspan, Rivi Schulman, Jane Apson, Bonnie Ritter, Linda Scharf, Judy Isikowitz, and Jacob Cooper.
Thank you. Wave of the camera, and I'll call on you, Paula Loomis. Please unmute.
Charlie Matlin, Ruth Solomon, Tony Ransdale, Nancy Dill Hammond, John Pearson.
Paulo Loomis and Chuck Richmond.
Thank you. Please wave of the camera, Ellen.
Yaakov Barish Ben Shoshana, Anya Bat Fegariva, Shanna Malko Bat Fruma Sarah, Irit Bat Leah.
Thank you. Please wave, and I'll call on you, Janet Kirschbaum.
Carrie Rosenstein, Melinda Pittler, Brandy Gillum, Helen Klingman, Robert Harris, Grant Hackman, David Iwanski, Harry Rosenstein, Emily Hobbs, Neil Castron, Sheriff Farber, and Jim Kavanaugh.
Sam Kabalnik.
Sherry Blank, Mark Suckman, and Fran.
Thank you. Becky.
Fran Kabolnik, Judy Isikowitz, Pete Harrop, Elliot Ackerfield, Diana Stonemaker, John Stonemaker.
Thank you. Other names? Ray Wazana.
Phil Cooperman, Donna Krupp, Suzanne Matioy, Janetta Wazana, Jerry Stoner, Fran Kabolnik, Judy Isikowitz.
Thank you. Barbara Haddam.
Lucas Satin, Paulter Pay, Jimmy Green, Howard Jacobson, Bobby Weisberg, Nancy Satin, David Levin, Ronnie Weingart, Mark Fullerton, and Alan Schulman.
Thank you. Fiona. What, Fiona? Huh? Fiona Taylor.
Robin Levy, Ryan Landsberg, Sheila Lowenthal, Zara Lowenthal, Fran Kabolnik, Sam Kabolnik, Judy Isikowitz.
Now you can.
And Paula Thomas.
Otis Grisman and Leanne Streifstein-Grisman.
Thank you. Other names, wave so I can see you. Sheila Hart. Sheila, did you unmute?
Did you hear them?
No.
Mary Yeh, Sylvia and Jake Tarika, Fran Kabolnik, and Eugene Lippman.
Thank you, Sheila. Stan Rosenbluth.
And for Clara, who will have her surgery on the 23rd of this month.
Okay, good luck with the surgery. Thank you. Sam Kabolnik.
And Sam Kabolnik.
Thank you, Fran. Other names, wave, so I can see you. Linda Tapper.
Excuse me, Ira Gold.
Thank you. Other names,
Eileen Wasserman, my niece, Rachel, and Christine Kroll.
Thank you. Other names, wave so I can see you. Ed. You have to unmute though, Ed. No, okay. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yismach Lahem B'Mhira Refuah HaNefesh. Amen. May the All-Merciful restore these people to full health and vigor, along with all others who are stricken with illness, and let us say Amen. Prayer for the United States. Harachman hu yivarech artzot habrit v'yagen aleha. May God bless the United States of America and allow her to win even many more gold medals during the Olympics and bring her peace as well. And a blessing for Israel. So before we have a blessing for Israel, thank you to Stan Schroeder for sharing this information. A new daycare center in Tel Aviv was inaugurated last week after receiving funding from prominent members of the LA Iranian Jewish community, Women's International Zionist Organization, WIZO, which operates the new center. It's going to be the Nazarian family, especially, who has contributed. And the report is that research has shown that the investment in children between birth and 5 years old is critical, and that if you start that young, the rest of their lives will be a path to success. So a nice accomplishment in Israel. Let us join together in singing the prayer for the state of Israel. Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu. And we're going to return the Torah to the ark. Let's join together in the singing of Eitz Chaim Hi at the bottom of page 21. Eitz Chaim Hi, Lama Chazikim Ba, V'tomcheha Meushar, Deracheha Darchei Noam, V'chol Netivoteha Shalom. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva. Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu, Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem. Let us now call upon our president, Jordan Pistol, to please share some congregational announcements.
Okay, I've been told I'm unstable, so I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes.
Shabbat Shalom. Due to a glitch in the membership renewal packages, they will not be going out until this week. Our Shabbat Torah study session will be on August 14th at 10:30 at the home of the Schroeders. I would remind everyone that since we have been unable to do our usual food collection for Sova, please mail your checks to Sova. The address is in the Shir notes, and if you request a receipt, they will send one to you. You can also drop food and or checks off at Sova at Van Owen and Havenhurst every day except Saturday. Our next Shabbat service will be our barbecue and Baruch service under the stars at the home of Gladys Sturman on August 20th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. This because of the glitch in sending out the membership renewal packages, although our usual or late practice has been that if you paid your 1/3 of your membership fee, you would, the barbecue and Baruch would be free. This time it will be free to all members. I say again, free to all members. RSVPs are needed and the information is in the Shir notes. Also, in the spirit of the Olympics, we should also remember two Olympians who weren't Olympians, Marty Glickman and Sam Stoller, in the 1936 Olympics, who were supposed to run in the 400-meter relay, but were replaced so as not to embarrass Hitler by having two Jews win. Does anybody have anything to add? Hearing none, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Jordan. Let us join together in Aleinu, page 24. If you can, please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol lateit gedula liyotzer b'reishit shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot v'lo samanu k'mishbrachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam v'anachnu korim ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בקווי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אינו אמת מלכנו אפסולתו ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבת אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Please be seated. However, if you are in mourning or observing yahrzeit, remain standing as the Temple family joins me in extending our sincerest condolences to Robin Berman on the passing of her dear mother, Sophie, with the words, may God comfort you amongst the other mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And we observe these yahrzeits through the Hebrew month of Av. If you have any other yahrzeits that will take us to the barbecue in Baruch Hu at the end of September, I'll ask you to mention their names as well if you're saying the Mourner's Kaddish for them. But these are the ones through the end of this Hebrew month: Eva Lewis, Herman Scharf, Bell Sklar, Henry Halper, Naomi Teichman, Tilly Unkelis, Irving Cooper, William Grayer, Sanford Scharf, Milton Winkler, Sadie Borove, Martha Stover, Morris K. Friedman, Ella Goldman, Albert Mishkin, Edith Yvette Neeson, Dina Simon, Clara Liverant, Oscar Berman, Gloria Castillo, Estelle Rader, Melva Delman, Eliezer Chaim, Sophie Friedman, Sal Shakari, Irvin Fisher, Rose Friedman Mondel, Minnie Haber, Frida Gray Prager, Sandra Korsch, Bess Robinson, Arthur Greenbaum, Martin Mintz, Shirley Esco, Rebecca Maurer, Frank Edelman, Shirley Abrams, Dr. Marvin Marsh, Sam Friedman, Charlotte Sipos, and Norman Spetner. Please raise your hand if you have any other yahrzeits. Janet Kirschbaum.
My sister Charlene Latham.
Thank you. Any other yahrzeit? Fiona Taylor.
Mel Taylor.
Thank you. Alan Berman.
Barbara Berman.
Thank you. Any other names that will take us to our next service? Sam Kabalnik.
Louis Suckman.
Thank you. Any other names? Please unmute so that we can join as a community in the recitation of the Mourner's Kaddish, which we find on page 25. Yitgadal v'yitgadash.
Vita Dar, Vita Lel, Vita Lal, Shemay de Kudasha, Beriku, La Mincho Berkata, Vishirat, Tushbachata, Veneamata, Damiran, Venla, Vemru, Ame, Mishmaya, Helena, Veako, Real, Ame, Osa, Shalom, Bima, Yes, Shalom, Hallelujah, Call Israel, Amen. Doing this.
Amen.
Please be seated as we conclude our service with the singing of Adon Olam, page 26. Adon Olam, it's Hey, let's go out into the lobby and begin our douche. Here we are.
Yeah, oh, yes.
So if you have some wine or grape juice, if you want to go ahead and get it,
Yes.
we will do a kiddush.
That's what it is.
So while you're getting your wine or grape juice, let's join together. Visham Reuven.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Okay, so we'll leave the Zoom going. So, anybody who would like to remain will continue to schmooze.
Sounds good.
Rabbi. Oh, I should say because Richard always says it to you guys. He just had to go out for a second, but Yasher Koach to both of you. And also, when you are away from the microphone a little bit, when you are doing something else like a muting or something, your voice goes.
Thank you for letting me know.
We just want to let you know that because we couldn't hear you do the blessings hardly at all. It was in and out.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Can you hear me now? Is it?
Oh, perfectly.
Now we can. Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you. Well, this may be our last Zoom service, so no, well, except for you and those of you in the outland areas. We'll
Everyone can see your picture.
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead, say it. Elsewhere. But
in the diaspora.
okay, thanks. But speaking of elsewhere, are you having is our congregation having services
Yes.
for the high holidays?
We are. People are going to be vaccinated and they're going to be masked. And if not, we'll be live streaming all of our services.
Okay, well, we will be there.
Good.
Physically.
Oh, very
Good.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, thanks, but I didn't expect that. But I just want you to know that these two from the wherever we live, the Far East, we'll be there for both Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur.
That's wonderful. It'll be good to see you guys.
See? So there.
Also, Stan, what about the new Laker acquisition?
I can't hear you.
What?
Stan, what about the new Laker acquisition?
Oh.
Yeah. And the
Stan Schroeder, can you hear
And the
me?
Dodgers.
Stan?
He's not there.
Stan Schroeder?
Yes.
Okay.
What about the new Laker acquisition?
How about that? Westbrook.
Where'd he go to
And the
school?
Dodgers, and the Dodgers, yeah.
The Dodgers.
Yeah, we're not talking about the UCLA player that now is with the Lakers.
Oh, you mean Russell?
Right.
Yes. I'm a Clipper
Also,
girl
Israel has
myself.
2 gold medals now.
Oh. What
I've always been a fan of Westbrook. He also made a very big donation to the new gym that they had built several years ago, and it, partly in his honor that he did that. So
Wow.
Jordan, what do we have the gold medals in?
Well, the Taekwondo bronze
Yeah.
that the rabbi mentioned, and also bronze in team judo.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, that's very
So
good.
apparently they're very good at self-defense stuff from other countries.
Okay, well, we have to say goodbye because we got to go watch the Olympics. Kidding.
I'm recording it.
Totally.
Well, see, this is a little different for me than watching the Winter Olympics, because when I watch the Winter Olympics, especially curling, you look at that and you say, that is something I could do. Now I'm watching the triathlon and I'm thinking, there's no way I can do any of that. And that was the women's triathlon I'm watching. I mean, yes, I can swim, I can ride a bicycle and run for about 3 inches, but that's it's just amazing. There's nothing there. And I don't even want to talk about trying to be on the uneven parallel bars.
The Winter Olympics is coming up in less than a year, supposedly. February of next year.
Yeah.
I think so. And then, yeah.
Does the United States have a curling team? Maybe you can try out.
Well, no. I say you watch it and it says, I mean, when they roll the stone, or throw the stones, I keep imagining there's got to be a way to put a beer can on top of it.
I particularly enjoy watching the racket sports that I used to play, like badminton and table tennis. And so forth.
Enjoy the Shabbat shalom.
Have a good nap.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Okay.
I thought there were some things that I thought were odd, for like they were fining or penalizing a women's team in beach volleyball because they were wearing shorts instead of bikini bottoms.
I didn't know that.
And then they penalized another track athlete because her shorts were too short.
No, I didn't know about that.
But I mean, okay, when not that I don't mind watching it, but when bikini bottoms are the required uniform to be worn, something is screwy.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
And yet the athletes say that bikini bottoms are best to play in because it limits the amount of sand that ends up bothering you.
One of the
Well,
things-
on beach volleyball,
the US has the skimpiest bottoms.
I think those are more like Band-Aids, Barbara.
I think you're right, because everybody else has on a full bottom except us.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
let's-
the Italians for certain.
Let's get out of that subject, because it could really get bad.
No, it's Shabbat. It can't get bad.
Oh, trust me, you should hear our discussions.
What about the uniforms for the softball girls?
Oh, yeah, they changed. I mean, they're nice.
Right.
They're like tights or whatever.
No more
it's-
shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The
What's
thing that I didn't mention on the Olympics that I think is noteworthy is the judoka man from that won I think it was a silver or bronze medal for Mongolia, who originally had been from Iran, and he refused to not play against the Israelis. Some years back, he had to flee the country. I sent out an email, I believe it had a link to that, but it was an amazing story that he from the medal stand or afterwards, he thanked the Israelis. He said Todah for helping, motivate him for what he's accomplished. So
I didn't know that. Oh.
he went from Iran to, I believe, Germany first, and then finally settled in Mongolia. He had to flee because the Iranians were after him because he would compete against the Israelis.
Interesting.
One of the things on I've been watching on the Criterion channel streaming, as well as some of the Turner Classic Movies, are the documentaries from past Olympics.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. One thing I noticed is that I was watching the 1956 Olympics in Melbourne, and it shows the athletes come marching in to the stadium and all. And when I was watching the opening ceremonies this time, it kind of looked like they all gaggled in.
Yeah, right.
And you lose a little bit. You lose a little bit of well, first of all, it tells it, where's the discipline, but you lose a little bit of the majesty of it all. And of all things, one of the most solemn parts of the opening ceremony was the oath that the athletes take, usually led by a major athlete. And NBC cut to a commercial during that.
I was wondering what happened to it. So that's what happened. They just didn't even broadcast it.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the height of the solemnity of it all. I mean, there is a certain solemn aspect to it, and the fact that they would do away with that, the athletes taking an oath to compete fairly and do it for sport. But I guess you had to sell something, or I don't know how they could have. So the idiots in programming.
And the umpire's oath too used to be
right.
Who didn't get a chance to watch the opening ceremonies? I have to find it on, replay somehow. But it is certainly one of the themes or the aspects of it that's symbolic, at least, of the supposed ethics or importance of the games, besides who wins and doesn't.
Well, it's not the winning, but the taking part.
Yeah.
And perhaps I'm finally becoming curmudgeonly, but it's I've always appreciated the majesty of it, the idea of, first of all, as you get old, what it really means, when the youth of the world. Yeah. And of course, as we all know, in the days of in the original ancient Olympics, all wars stopped during the Olympics.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you would think that the problem with the Olympic ideal, I guess now, is that the countries say, well, we will, we maybe not be at war, but we will put aside our animosity toward other peoples for 2 weeks. And if I were the head of the IOC, I'd say that means that you don't refuse to compete against somebody if you want to be here. But they're not, the IOC people are not the the grand people they once were. Not that Avery Brundage was a grand person.
No.
Apparently, people's competition suffered if they went to the opening ceremonies because an athlete with a finely tuned body having to stand there for 3.5 hours during the ceremony, it turns out that they were not being able to compete at their proper level after that. And so you end up now with a lot of athletes who refuse to participate. And in this particular case, a lot of teams were not allowed to walk anyway because they needed to keep the numbers down.
Right. Yeah, this was unusual in that regard, but it's just the. I remember what did they say about? I remember that at the closing ceremonies of the '76 Olympics in Montreal, and there was a British athlete that got some other athletes, and they just kept running around the track like they didn't want it to end. And that's, as I get older, I see basically these are kids having fun. And that's the important thing for, an important thing for a lot of them, that they enjoy that. They enjoy it. It's hard work, but every so often they have to let their littler kids out.
I think another lesson that we can learn from the Olympics is that in order for there to be winners, there has to be losers. And we see these guys on the stand, and then the others are losers, except that they were winners to begin with in order to get there. So each of us has a certain level of which we've achieved, and we're winners without having to necessarily win the whole thing. So that's,
believe me, if I had one of those certificates that said participated in the Olympics of the XX Olympiad, that thing would be prominently displayed, and I'd have a copy in my wallet to show everyone.
Oh, interesting. On another subject, is California, you're all masked now as far as when you go into stores and so on?
Well, LA County, I think, is masked.
Okay. Not where I live in Ventura. You don't have to in Ventura County.
Yeah, but that's the hinterlands.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I'm a country girl, that's it.
If you're a country girl in Ventura County, I don't even want to know what they call us.
Actually, at the time that we were making our arrangements for the High Holy Day services, masks were not required, nor they are now, nor were they required by D. Toledo High School, but we were requiring them. That was and we still will. That I checked with David Marcus, who's the facilities manager at D. Toledo, both Thursday and yesterday, to see if any of their procedures had changed, and just the masking. And but it's we're going to be sharing not the auditorium, but the facility with another congregation. Okay. So you'll be able to go over there, look at them and say, I wouldn't set foot in there. So, but it's a small congregation. And so as I've been assured that there will be enough parking spaces for everyone.
Jordan, on the masks, is that going to be a paper mask required as they're changing here?
Paper mask. If you want to wear a hazmat suit, go for it.
No,
any mask.
Not a cloth mask.
Oh yeah, yes, has to be not a gaiter.
No, just because we have cloth masks that we wear all the time, but we go into like the doctor's office, they require a paper mask.
No, they don't require that here. You can wear any mask. You just can't wear like a scarf or a gaiter.
Right.
Any mask will do.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when
Anybody
you go to
needs-
the doc,
Yeah,
when
if
you go to
anybody
the
needs a
doctor's
mask,
office, they do give you different masks to wear. They make
I've
you
been
take
in a
yours
lot of
off.
doctors. I've been in a lot of
I was just
doctors'
there.
offices.
I just was there. I was just at Cedars having a mammogram, and I could wear it on top of mine, or I
Okay.
could take mine off,
Well,
but I had to wear theirs.
That's not a requirement everywhere, because I've had a lot of doctor's appointments and I go to physical therapy and no one has ever questioned what I'm wearing.
Every time I've gone to Cedars, they do that. So maybe it's just a Cedars thing.
I went.
Although I went to pick up some records at the whatever they call that scanning center on Clark Street, where they do all the tests, mammograms and bone density and all that stuff. I went to pick it up, and I walked in wearing a mask, and I walked into the office just to pick up some papers, and she said, "Oh, did you get scanned when you came in?" I said, "No, I didn't see anybody." She said, "Well, you have to go out, have your temperature taken, and yet they have to give you a different mask." And so I went out, came back, and they gave it to me, gave me the papers. I was in there 30 seconds, but I had to have a new mask.
Yeah.
Right. That's been my experience.
Yeah, I think that's the
If anybody needs a
facility.
mask, you let me know, because I have one for Hanukkah and for Passover still. But if you need something, just let me know. And I want to just say Shabbat Shalom to everybody. Judy, thank you for the lovely messages. Barbara and Neil, I hope you got my little message. I don't know if you saw it or not on this chat, but I want to wish everybody a good year. And then I will see you when I return. God willing.
When do you leave? When do you leave?
We're leaving on Monday.
Okay.
And
have you been in this area before?
Now, where do you live?
We live in Goodyear. It depends on how my number is there. Call me because you're going to Sedona, I hope.
Well, I've been there. I'm going to go to Prescott and, stay there, and then Jerome, and then go right on to Santa Fe and Taos and Colorado Springs, all that good stuff. So.
Right. Okay.
Again, a good place to go would be on the way to New Mexico is the Acoma Pueblo.
We can't hear you. What?
The Acoma Pueblo on the way to New Mexico.
Yes, it's on the 40 on your way before, as you're going towards New Mexico. Why don't you give us a call and we can give you, because we've traveled there extensively.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So give us a call.
Okay.
Have a wonderful trip.
All right.
I'm going to be at a bridal shower in Colorado at the barbecue in Boraku weekend. So I'm not going to be there.
Hey, I'll be in Spearfish, South Dakota.
Oh, wow.
We'll be in Oxnard.
I'll be in England.
Oxnard.
Anyhow, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
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 Shabbat
Thanks
Shalom.
again.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Again, thank you,
Shabbat
David.
Shalom.
Before we get out of here.
Exit, push exit. At the bottom right. Do you have an exit?
Mine says leave, not exit.
And
Okay, well, looks like people are moving on to lunch. So Shabbat
Lunch.
Shalom, everybody.
Have a good week.
thank you.
Well.
Bye.